Hey, what's up everyone, I'm Makan and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we'll be making a complete Pokedex application in Flutter. So first things first, let's see the demo of the application, right? So I'll open up the demo here. So this is the Pokedex application. As you can see, let me close the Pokedex first. So you can see there's an animation. So on clicking that, it will automatically open. And here I can rotate the camera. So in the real phone, we can just point to that and it will automatically update. So you can see we have no Pokemon here. I can see the animal, there is no Pokemon, and if I rotate it back to Charizard, you can see that it is automatically updated to Charizard. And not just that, if I tap on this black button here, you can see that it is automatically fetching the details and the image of that Pokemon as well. I can click back and let's upload any other image as well. So let's just rotate it once and let's upload any other image, for example Meowth. So I'll upload that, and now let's see Meowth's image if it works. Meowth, you can see, and if I tap on this button, it is automatically updated and the details are also there. So we'll be making this entire application in this video. Also the source code is available in the description box, so make sure to check that out as well. So first things first, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. It will really help the channel out. You can go to my channel and hit this subscribe button. So with that all being said, let's start with the explanation of this video. Alright, so first things first, let me open up the Android Studio and run the app. So I'll open the Android Studio here. So here inside the folder, lib folder, we have main.dart. So inside that, I am just calling the Pokedex view screen that we have. Also camera package we are using. So we are capturing all of the cameras that we have on the phone. So we are storing that inside this list here. Awesome. So inside this screen, all of the UI part that I have written is present in Pokedex view. And this Pokedex detail is nothing but we have made one model for this information. So this details that you can see, we have name, weight, type and sprite. This is the sprite. So these are the email for the model. Controller is nothing but here all of the logical part with the backend communication, with the Pokemon recognition, with the API calling for fetching the detail of the Pokemon. So all of that details are called, all of that logic is written inside this class. So we'll be checking that. So first, let's see the Pokedex view class. What do we have here and how I am making all of this animation. Like we can go back by clicking this button. On clicking the background, it will automatically close as well. So how everything is working, let's see that. So here, controller I am initializing as a late variable here, and in the init state I am assigning that Pokedex controller, and then I'm adding the listener as set state. And controller.initialize is called. So initialize is nothing but like init state, all of the methods like when we are connecting with the backend or camera we are initializing. So all of that logic is written inside this initialize method. Works. Then we have a dispose method here. So whenever we are navigating away from our app or screen, that time this method will be called a dispose method. After that, we have a build method for the UI part. So here there's a scaffold. Background color is not required, you can pass it white, but because we are making an image expanded, so that will not be mandatory. Then inside our body we have one stack. Inside the stack I made two widgets. First is positioned and second is aligned. This positioned one is for the background, this complete image here that you can see. If we expand that, you can see that there's an image.asset and we are displaying the bg.png. So this is the background. So in the assets, we can see there's a bg.png. This image, we are just displaying that. Oh, okay. Then we are wrapping this image with the gesture detector as well. So you can see here, whenever I am clicking on the background, so if I click on the Pokedex, you can see it will open. And if I click on the background, you can see that it will automatically close as well. So we have to update the state here. So I am passing the state as closed. We'll see that what is this Pokedex state as well just in a moment. So we are calling our controller logic here to close that. This is the image that we have in the background. Now this is the entire Pokedex. This widget, align widget, is the Pokedex of our app. So let's expand that, and here I am using alignment 0 0. So this 0 0 represent as 0 from the x-axis and 0 from the y-axis in the middle of the app, right? So this works. Then I made a row which is scrollable as horizontally. So we made a row which can scroll horizontally, but a user cannot scroll it manually. We can scroll it programmatically so that I can show the front and the back side of the Pokedex, right? Controller we are initializing here as well. So in this row, there are two widgets here as well. First is stack and second is animated builder. So this stack is the front case. So if I click here, you can see this first widget, this one is our stack widget, and the second animated builder is this second widget. So if I click on this black button, you can see that we are scrolling programmatically, that is with the help of this scroll controller that we have, and this scroll direction is horizontal so that we can scroll horizontally. We can go back as well by clicking this white button. Perfect. So this is the first part and this is the second part. So you can see the stack and animated builder here. Two widgets we have inside row. Let's see the first one. What is in this stack? So in this stack, we have positioned image.asset and another position with another and another. So basically what is happening is, first we are rendering the main image, sorry, the camera. So this camera we are rendering from top and left position. I am initializing, and I am initializing a width and height of the sized box so that we can see this much of the camera. Now let me show you the image. Front.png, as you can see, is this image that I got, and here you can see this is a transparent. So basically behind that we are capturing the camera from the user's phone so that we can show here whatever image we have to see. So camera package we are using here. After that I am showing this image front.png so that we can see this image here. And next to that we have a sized box of width and height. So this is the width and height. To better show you guys, let me wrap it with container, and color let me pass as colors.blue. And let's hot reload. Okay, so app is not running right now. So basically what this does is, this is a 110 and 50 for that much sized box. We have made one box, and inside that I am making a text with the current Pokemon name, and I'm adding one underscore as well at the last, so you can see that underscore as well. All right, then that is the basic size here, positioned from bottom and left. So from the bottom that much we want, and from the left side this much from left, so that we can align it properly based on that image that we have. Works. First thing is this button, Second is we made one container for width that is 50 and 50, and we are wrapping it with the gesture detector with the controller dot update, and the state will be info. So that 50 and 50 is aligned here. You can see from the bottom this much height, and from the left side it is quite less, so only that much, so that we can have this button here clickable. So on clicking that area, I'm simply updating the Pokedex state as info. Whenever I'm updating it to info, on clicking it will go to the info state, right? And next we have at last animated builder. So this animated builder, let me show you. So if I go back and if I click on the background here, you can see that it automatically closes. So this casing of this flap opening and closing, this is also an image. So if we go here info case back, you can see that this is the image that we have here, this part. I am basically using this positioned widget and animated builder here. So basically we are changing the opacity. If it is less than 0.7, then the opacity is 1, but if it is greater than 0.7, then we are hiding that. So you can see on clicking it will open, but after that the opacity will change and it will vanish. And here child, we are transforming and rotating the y-axis so that it will open, and this flap animation value, so animation we are using from 0 to 1, and that is a linear animation that we have. So if I close it, you can see it will come back, and if I click it again, it will rotate based on that. Perfect. Now we have to assign, because it is rotating, this flap we want to rotate based on the right edge that we have. So for that alignment we have to set as right side, so that it will rotate from right, not from left, not from middle. Okay, then we have gesture detector, and on clicking, so you can see that if I click on this image, this back side, the state will update to opened. So if I click on it, it will open and the state will change. So this is the back. So that is our first, this part, right? Second part is our scroll controller, this animated builder here. Here we are passing animated opacity, and it is opposite of that. If it is greater than 0.7, this animation value, then it will show, otherwise it will not. So you can see if I close it, as soon as the flap closes, this side also vanishes away. And if I open the flap, you can see flap will disappear, but this image will show here, the info image that we have. So it is occurring based on this opacity value that we have here. Great. Then next thing we have is the image.asset. So basically image we are displaying front case. So let me go that. This is the image, and this image, and second widget that we have here is positioned. So this positioned is nothing but I added a sized box, a box here, and on clicking that you can see I have a gesture detector, and what it will do, it will animate to minimum scroll extent. What it is doing, it will scroll to the minimum position, that means to the left side if I click on this box here. So on clicking it will scroll to the minimum extent, and if I click here it will scroll to the maximum scroll extent. So we have both minimum and maximum scroll here, as you can see. Perfect. So this is the size box for this button, and then for the info details I made if the controller.details not equals to null, because if I rotate the image now, you can see that there are no Pokemon now. So if I go here, there are no details as well. So controller.details, if it is not equals to null, only that time we will show the details. So if we have the details, let me go back to the image here and let's click. Now we can see the images. So inside that, from the top and from the left, so from the top here and from the left, I am aligning it to take this image sized box, a box that much. Inside that we have a row for the image and then a column. So this is the image that we have and then a column, and the row main axis alignment is set as space evenly so that it will take equal amount of spacing all sides. Makes sense. Then here inside the image.network we are calling the details object that we have and then using dot sprite, dot name, dot type and dot weight, and I'm adding kg as well at the last. Makes sense. So this is the entire view screen, the Pokedex screen that we have. Let's see the logical part, like how this updating the state logic works, because everywhere what I am doing basically is I am updating the state. So let's see how this works. So here controller inside, you can see that we have one enum for the Pokedex state. So either it can be closed, it can be opened, or we are on the info screen, right? Right now the state is closed. If I open it up, right now the state is open, and if I click on this button, the state is on info. So we just have to update the state and we have to execute logic based on whatever state we want to update to. All right, here controller we have. So first, before discussing that, let's see our pubspec.yaml file as well, whatever packages we have added. So first we have our camera package, because we need to see whatever image that we have on our camera so that we recognize the Pokemon. Second, we have the image package, so that I am using to compress the captured image from the camera that we are sending to the backend. So we are first compressing that image and after that sending it to the backend. Then we have WebSocket channel, so that basically helps in the communication with the backend and transferring of the images in real time, so that as soon as I change my camera, you can see that the status also changes as well. So that is happening based on the WebSocket. And this HTTP package is used for calling the Pokemon API. So here I have added the Poke API, and based on that we are capturing the Pokemon details. So you can see we get the name here, and based on that name, if I click on the button, we'll call the API, fetch the details, and then we'll show those details here based on, so these packages we want. Other than that, I have also included our fonts that is available on assets VT323, and we have added assets as well. This font is like old font that I found on the internet, so I have used that to match it with the theme of Pokedex basically. So once that is done, let's go to our logical part. Controller, here we can see that we have our initial state that is closed. So initially our Pokedex will be closed. All right. Then we have our animation controller, animation flap animation, scroll controller, camera controller, channel, current Pokemon, and current Pokemon details. Current Pokemon is nothing but a string that we are getting from our backend. Pokemon details is the details object that we are populating from the Poke API. The channel is for the WebSocket. Camera controller is the controller of this camera, the package that we added. Scroll controller helps us to scroll horizontally programmatically, and this flap animation is used for this flap animation that we can see here. Alright. Whenever we are initializing the object, controller also I am initializing here only. After calling the initialize method, we are initializing the flap animation. It will begin from 0 and end on 1. So it is a linear animation, and the controller I am passing here as flap controller. Then after 1 second of delay, whenever we are opening the app, it will change the Pokedex state as open. Camera we are initializing here. We are initializing the WebSocket, and we are also starting the logic for transferring the image. So we are capturing the image after every 3 seconds. We are transferring the image to the backend, and here in the initialize WebSocket, we are connecting with the backend, and then we are getting the data. So here, whenever we got any data, we are JSON parsing that data, and based on that JSON, we have one status: Pokedex found, Pokedex not found. So Pokemon found or not found, we are making that adjustment here. And here current Pokemon also we can see we are capturing that as well. Makes sense. Current Pokemon once we have, then compress image. So this is the function that is called when we are sending the image. So we are compressing that and then getting the bytes. These bytes we are transferring to our backend. We'll definitely talk about the Python code as well, but just in a moment. So here, this is the update logic, the main method. If it is closed, we are reversing the animation. If it is open, so a reverse is closing the flap, forward is opening of the flap, and this info is nothing but we are navigating. So the scroll controller that we are setting it as a max scroll extent so that we can scroll to the right side. And then if the current Pokemon not equals to null, then we are calling this Poke API and then getting the details, and we are notifying the listener. Notify listener is like set state, because in the init state here I am initializing add listener. So whenever this method is called, we are basically calling set state. Alright, so this is the logic that we have inside our application. Basically, we are fetching the recognized Pokemon from our backend here. If the Pokemon is found, we are getting that name, and based on that name that we have, we are calling the API and getting the details. Perfect, great. Now let's see the backend as well, how it works. So inside the VS code here, so here you can see that we have a test.png, we have an eve.png. So let me stop this server, clear it, and here inside Pokedex underscore basic, you can see that this is the basic Pokedex code in Python. So we are using the torch library and calling the pre-trained model, that is the Pokemon classifier from the Hugging Face, and then we are calling that, and based from the transformers library we are getting the model from the VIT image classification. Based on that, once we have our model and feature extractor, we are calling the recognize Pokemon function. This is the main function where we are passing the bytes of our image, and then from those bytes we are getting the image, and based on that we are predicting the output what we have, if there is a Pokemon or not. If the confidence score is greater than 0.7, then we are returning the Pokemon name, otherwise we'll return none. So let me show you if this works as well. Here I am passing eve.png, so that is the Pokemon name. I'll pass that, and here let's run Pokedex basic.py. I'll hit enter. I should be able to get the Pokemon found and the name of that Pokemon as Eevee. So that's great. I can also go to test.png. I can run it again, and again it will run, and I should be able to get Pikachu as this thing. You can see Pikachu. So this is the main function that we have. Then inside our Pokedex server file, we are handling our WebSocket logic here and calling our recognize Pokemon method whenever we are getting any message from our Flutter site. Once we have the Pokemon, we are checking if the Pokemon is there. We'll return as Pokemon found, otherwise no Pokemon found here. And also in the data we are returning name and the name of the Pokemon, because in the Flutter also here you can see that once we have the Pokemon found, we are getting from data and then name, we are getting the name. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, then make sure to like it, subscribe my channel, and share this video with your friends as well. So with that all being said, I'm Yash. Peace out.